Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Belly pain, grandmother waits for 4-year-old who died after being locked in a car. Paula Downer wailed for belly pains as reality set in that her grandson, 4-year-old Jordan Clark, would not be coming home after he was sent to school for what should have been a day of fun and frolic for Jamaica Day celebrations on Thursday. But the grounds of the Desto Bennett Early Childhood Center in Wellington Town, Kingston, where young Jordan's body was found locked in a car in the sweltering afternoon heat, was like a ghost town when reporters visited the community Friday morning, where parents were spotted returning home with their children. As news spreads of the horrific discovery of the boy's body by his teacher, residents who spoke with reporters reported that a woman was seen running to the school with her slippers in hand, alerting them to the gravity of the unfolding situation. Talking with reporters at her home in Boris Bank, Kingston on Friday, the 44-year-old grandmother cried as she explained that by the time she got to the school, her grandson had already been rushed to the Bustamante Hospital for Children, where he was pronounced dead. Donna, who would normally walk with her grandson to school, explained that she had taken up the offer from the boy's teacher to pick him up on the way, a favor which the teacher extended to several other children at the school. From 1 o'clock yesterday, Thursday, me no eat. Me belly a bun me, the distraught woman bawled. Me dress him up, send him to school, because it was Jamaica Day. When she come, me give her him lunch money, fi buy jerk chicken and send my grandson with her, and now him gone, she continued. When I go into the hospital, the teacher telling me that she thinking he come out to take care of the rest of the kids. She can't tell me she never miss him for so much hours and don't call me or my daughter. She go again and say she think him outside playing. It's not until when she go and open the car door, she said my baby just drop out, the distressed grandmother bellowed in a series of tears jerking ranks. The boy's mother, 21-year-old Abigail Beckford, has been under the watch eye of relatives, Donna explained, as her daughter's mental state deteriorated after hearing of her son's death. In addition to her own grief, the grandmother, who suffers from hypertension, said she is also now battling guilt as her daughter has questioned her judgment in letting her son go to school with his teacher. Me have to send her to stay with my sister because she says she can't stay in the house with his things lying around the place, said Donna, her body losing strength as she pointed to the boy's bicycle parked in the corner of his room. Last night, him have it a ride up and down in here, and when him done, him said, Grandma, me a go me bed now. All right now, my daughter not talk to me, cause she say I may make him go in at the teacher car. But me I try eat him from the walk-in, and it's just the second time me make Jay go with her. But it look like me send him with the wrong person, Donna lamented. A police investigation into the boy's death is currently underway, the Corporate Communications Unit of Jamaica Constabulary Force has confirmed. It was not confirmed, however, whether the teacher had been charged. Meanwhile, neighbors who gathered to give their support to the grieving family remembered young Jardine, who was known affectionately as Jay, as a quiet child with a bright smile. If you see Jay sitting down and say hello to him just shake him head and give you a big smile, one elderly woman said, expressing empathy to Donna, as she too is a grandmother. I have my grandchildren, so me know how she must feel. That little boy was so sweet and quiet. He never give no trouble, the tear-stained woman stated. Woman's body found in soldier's car. The Jamaica Defense Force JDF says it is supporting a police probe into the death of a woman whose body was found last night in a soldier's car. The woman had been shot. The incident happened in the St. Andrews Central Police Division. Further details were not immediately available. However, the JDF has confirmed that the car in which the woman's body was found is registered to a member of the Army. We are assisting the JCF with the investigation, consistent with our commitment to the safety, security, and well-being of all our citizens, said an Army spokesperson in a statement in reference to the Jamaica Constabulary Force. They are appealing to anyone with information to call the JDF tip line at 876-837-8888 or call police 119 emergency number. Connie G. murdered in Spicy Hill, Trelawney. The Trelawney police are probing the shooting death of a man at his home in Spicy Hill near Duncan's, Trelawney on Saturday morning. Ian Jarrett, 38, otherwise called Connie G., a laborer of Spicy Hill in Duncan's Trelawney, was shot about 1 a.m. Residents reported hearing gunshots in the area, and about 7 o'clock, Jarrett's sister went to find him with multiple gunshot wounds at the entrance of his poor dwelling house. He was pronounced dead at hospital. Thanks but no thanks. Public Defender Arlene Harrison Henry says her office is not interested in having prosecutorial powers, brushing aside a demand by the country's Rastafarian community. The public defender was responding to questions from reporters following a call made by members of the Rastafarian community demanding that the government grant prosecutorial powers to her, as they are of the view that they are not being given justice by Paula Llewellyn-led Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP. Well, we wouldn't go there with them. The law is clearly settled in relation to who has prosecutorial power, Harrison Henry said. We have powers of investigations, and we have never made a submission to be given prosecutorial power, the public defender noted. On Wednesday, members of the Rastafarian community in Western Jamaica staged a peaceful demonstration in Samshop Square, Montego Bay, where they expressed their disappointment with the ruling into the complaint brought by Nsinga King, a 19-year-old Clarendon Rastafarian who claimed her dreadlocks were cut by a police officer while in custody. The DPP need to investigate the situation a little better, and we're saying the government should strengthen the public defender so that the public defender's office can carry out prosecution, because in situations like this, we are not clear as to how Indicom would investigate, said Louis Brown, treasurer of the Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society. Brown said the Rastafarian community was not in favor of the ruling made by the DPP. He further said that there is a need for a more thorough investigation into the matter, as King is not mentally challenged, as has been presumed by some. But according to the public defender, the file containing her office's investigation into the matter is not closed. She said the pace of its investigation has to do with the limited staff that is required to effectively cover all the parameters in the timely manner. We are also investigating the Nsinga King haircutting matter, but our resources are way less than the DPP office, way less than the police, way less than Indicom, the public defender said. She said while her office has an explanation to the outcome of its investigations, she will be guarding carefully their findings onto the matter is fully ventilated. We have an expectation, but we are not giving any deadline as to when our report is going to be ready. We're not giving any indication of anything like that, the public defender informed. She noted that King and her mother are aware of the work and the Office of the Public Defender is doing in relation to the case. As per her encounter with police officers in Clarendon Police Division on her last visit, Harrison Henry is hoping that her next visit will be a better experience than previously received. I am also returning to the Fort Pass Police Station, and I just hope that my return I will be properly welcomed and facilitated and not have a repeat of the conduct, she warned. Last September, officers at the Fort Pass Police Station denied access to Harrison Henry and her team, who had gone there to investigate reports lodged to her office by King's mother. At the time, Harrison Henry reported that she was told to write a letter seeking permission from the Commissioner of Police before her office would be allowed access to the jail cells in which the teen was being held. NCB Foundation helps further students' mid-school wish. 26-year-old Dane Warren has known struggle for most of his life. After losing his father at age 2, Warren's mother struggled to make ends meet for her family on her minimal salary as a cashier. Needless to say, his journey through the education system as a youth was extremely challenging, both academically and financially. However, Warren's very passion for succeeding in his life and not letting his financial situation hold him back enabled him to stay focused on his goals and work tirelessly towards a bright future. The beginning of Warren's high school career started off rocky. He was ranked among the lowest performing students in grades 7 and 8 and had a really tough time. However, fast forward to the end of his high school career, when Warren had managed to finish among the top academic achievers, securing 9 Caribbean Secondary Education Certificates C6 subjects and 8 Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination CAPE subjects, all while being heavily involved in co-curricular activities For Schools Challenge quiz seasons, deputy head boy duties, school council president, energy conservation club, cadet corps, and the list goes on. After his success in high school, Warren was ready to transition to the next step of his academic journey, university. I was accepted to the University of the West Indies to study chemistry, but with my mother's small cashier salary, my only option was the Students' Loan Bureau. But I couldn't secure my guarantors. The semester start was fast approaching, and my application was incomplete and unsubmitted, Warren recalled. But I was determined to start, so I showed up for classes in September 2014. I remember my mom saying, "That's crazy, Dane," because she didn't have the money for me to take a bus to school, much less pay my school fee. Regardless, I began my UWI journey, and I knew I'd figured it out along the way. That I did. From catching rides with mentors and lecturers to and from his home in Old Harbor, to sleeping on the floor in his friend's dorm or on chairs in the library, to borrowing his friend's login to study for his exams. All the while, unpaid tuition was mounting, and he was behind in his studies. To turn things around, Warren reached out to a professor, who he then ended up working with to earn some money towards his tuition while advancing his studies. He ended up being able to eventually save enough to move on to one of the halls, buy himself a laptop and all his necessary supplies, travel overseas, and even contribute to a paper published alongside his professor. He was an undergrad student with 2 journal entries and had traveled to Mexico as part of the American Chemistry Society. All huge accomplishments to be extremely proud of. Currently, Warren is a third-year medical student pursuing a degree at Texas American University in Ghana. He graduated with his Bachelor's of Science in Chemistry and Psychology from the University of the West Indies. Unfortunately, his financial struggles had followed him to Ghana, where he has struggles to pay his tuition in order to advance to the 4th year. To quit this, he teaches C6 classes online to earn extra money where he can. Luckily for him, a financial blessing came at the end of 2021 in the form of a $300,000 gift towards his studies from the NCB Foundation's Grant a Witch program. Warren is the top recipient of this year's educational category. His resilience, push towards greatness, no matter the circumstances, is a large part of what secured his ranking. "I didn't expect this," he remarked. At the time of applying for the program, Warren owed $405,000 in tuition, with the Grant a Wish prize money covering just over 70% of his debts. Warren was more optimistic, hopeful, and secured going into 2022. "I want to express my sincere gratitude and appreciation to the entire NCB Foundation for this initiative and this gift. It came at a time when I had limited options and no way out of clearing my final payments of year 3. Warren is among hundreds of other recipients in the NCB Foundation's annual Grant a Wish program, which has seen donations of $50 million to date to individuals and institutions across Jamaica. Last year, wishes were granted to the tune of $15 million to organizations and individuals in need that fall within the categories of medical, frontline workers, education, community projects, and micro-entrepreneurship. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.